And we have another statement that has been issued by China as far as China's latest redrawing their map is concerned. China once again coming out with a statement. This is Global Times, which says, and I quote, the release of 2023 edition of the standard map of China is the country's normal exercise of sovereignty in accordance with the law. It's hoped that relevant parties will treat it objectively and not over-interpret it. This is a statement which has been made by the Chinese Foreign Ministry, quoted by the Chinese media in response to the Indian media reports related to the map issuance. Let's go across to Rishabh joining us with more details. Rishabh, China claiming Aksai Chin, Arunachal Pradesh, and it didn't stop there, but clearly not a sign of remorse. It's asking India in a way to not interpret it or overlook into it.
Well, definitely, Chinese Foreign Ministry statement is not helping at all. First, they come up with an inaccurate map where they show areas that are under Indian control and also belongs to India historically under their sovereign map, and then comes out to say that do not interpret it further. This is something that is in accordance with law. Logically speaking, China's aggressive behavior in this region, the whole Indo-Pacific, South Asia region, has created a diplomatic issues not only between India, China, but also other countries with China as well, be it Taiwan, be it Japan, be it Indonesia, or any other country that is in Indo-Pacific region has problem with the expansionist issue of China. And this statement that has come in, where indirectly China is asking India to stay put and do not react to what China is doing, is something that is definitely not something that India will accept. Only yesterday India has come out with a statement that this is nothing but just a Chinese propaganda, and in an official response, the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arunachal went on to say that this is Chinese propaganda, and India outrightly rejects the map, so-called standard map 2023 by China.
Absolutely. Now, if we talk about this particular release, though we have a formal statement which has been made by China, let's not forget, they've come out with another release. They've released another map, and the timing is also very crucial. It comes right after the Prime Minister and Xi Jinping's attendance at the BRICS summit, which concluded very recently, ahead of the G20 summit, which is going to take place in just a few days. And with the Chinese president's attendance, during the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi, the Beijing certainly is escalating bilateral tensions by releasing this new map that has asserted territorial claim over India's Arunachal Pradesh and Aksai Chin. What has been the official response so far? We've heard it from the Minister of External Affairs as well, and several other diplomats who've gone on to say that's not your business. Do not dictate terms to us on what belongs to us.
Well, definitely, India has been very clear that be it Arunachal Pradesh, be it Ladakh, whatever China says, they belong to India. They are integral part of India. This year, earlier as well, China, unilaterally changed names of 11 points that belong to India to Mandarin names. And back then also, India retaliated that just imagining thing and putting it on paper won't change realities on ground. And Arunachal Pradesh, any claim on Arunachal Pradesh is just false propaganda by China. Yesterday as well, when this map came in day before yesterday, after clearly going through the whole issue, it took India some time, but after deliberation over what exactly China wanted to showcase with this map, India came
It's a very strong message that the Chinese foreign minister is trying to send out. Let me go across to strategic affairs expert Mr. Arasan Singh joining us on the phone line. Mr. Singh, you have an official statement by the Chinese foreign minister, which has been quoted by the Chinese media. Global Times has put out this statement confirming that the foreign minister, I beg your pardon, says that India or anyone else for that matter must not over-interpret what China has said, or rather try to indicate in the new map it has released officially.
No, it's our territory. Then who is going to interpret it? Will we go by the Chinese version or the Pakistani version? Or we will abide by the Indian version? And, these cartographic games, or these ploys, they have not been using only against India, but, also, with regard to South China Sea. And in many ways, they have succeeded there, in creating those artificial islands in the vicinity of Philippines and in Vietnam. And it's an ongoing process. So we have to be very alert. I mean, the expansionist designs are there for all of us to see. And we must take this the issue very strongly. But as I told you on your channel yesterday, that we as citizens, I mean, we must our collective angst, our collective protests must be seen, and that is let's stop calling it India-China border. We all must promise that henceforth we will refer to it as an India-Tibet border, which is actually the reality. And I had also said that we must revisit our position, diplomatic position on Taiwan. And
But Mr. Singh, looks like China continues with its map mischief despite very strongly worded statements being put out by the Prime Minister time and again. In fact, during the BRICS summit is when the Prime Minister reiterated that maintaining peace and tranquility in border areas and respecting LAC were essential for normalizing India-China ties. China does not seem to be getting the message right still.
I think it's a typical Chinese trait, to keep you unsettled. Like, you have a mischievous neighbor who always keeps on laying, false claims just to keep you unsettled. That is what China is. It is, we must learn to deal with China, on this, this congenital, I would say, congenital aspect of the Chinese nationalism. So therefore we must resort, respond accordingly. But another very important, that we keep global time, keep quoting global times, etc.
Okay.
Tell me one thing. I mean, can an Indian plant an advertisement in it?
No, most certainly. It's unacceptable in all aspects, Mr. Arasan Singh. This edition of China's standard map uploaded by the Ministry of Natural Resources on the website most certainly crossing the line once again and continues to remain brazen. Many thanks for that, Mr. Singh. Thanking Rishabh as well for joining us with all those details. Let's quickly